Morning, everyone. Today is December 20th. Um, and um, Planning on doing some working with the functions chapter of Python Crash Course. So far, we've been doing pretty good. Just getting through the book. It's been very good. This is a very good approach. I really like it. This is probably the best approach I've ever taken to learning to code. I'm really I'm really proud of the results so far. But that being said, I'm just gonna keep going, stay consistent. I think that's the main thing. Um, and and yeah, just keep chugging along, keep pushing through. So um, I worked on this a little earlier. I worked on this a little bit earlier than I probably should have. Or not should have, but uh, so I already got past this part where it's like try it yourselves for the first part where it's like functions, writing functions. Now I'm over here where I'm like passing arguments, learning about positional arguments and the various types of arguments. So let's just go get into. I'm gonna read this and then that will be what we're doing. So let me go ahead and read. I'll be right back. Okay. The definition shows that this function needs a type of animal in the animal's name. When we call describe pet, we need to provide an animal type and name in that order. For example, the function call, the argument hamster is assigned to the parameter type. Mm-hmm. The argument Harry is assigned to parameter pet name. In the function body, in the function body, these two parameters are used to display information about the pet being described. Call it. Trust me. I'm messing with my friend. I put the new AI, put the new AI phone number in the group chat. So okay. Um. Don't want to steer you wrong, Birdie. Birdie. Okay, whatever. You can call a function as many times as needed. Describing a second different pet requires just one more call to pets. Yes. In this second function, we pass pet the arguments dog, Willie, with the previous set of arguments we use. Python matches dog with the parameter animal type and Willie with the parameter pet name. As before, the function does its job, but this time it prints values for dog named Willie. Now we have a hamster named Harry and a dog named Willie. Calling a function multiple times is a very efficient way to work. Code describing a pet is written once in the function. Then anytime you want to describe a new pet, you call the function with the new pet's information. Even if the code for describing a pet to expand to 10 lines, were to expand to 10 lines, you could still describe a new pet in just one line by calling the function again. Order matters in positional arguments. You can get unexpected results if you mix up the order of arguments in a function call using positional arguments. So if you do like animal type hairy hamster, then it's gonna print out I have a hairy, I have a hamster. So it's like, it needs these parameter or um these the arguments need to be in the order of the parameters. So these arguments need to be in order of the parameters. Oops. Yeah. So I want to just highlight that too, because I forgot that I can write in this PDF book thing. So let me go ahead and just like write that out. These are parameters. Parameters. This and this. And then we have the arguments right here. Probably should change the color. So parameters, arguments. Okay, organize and arguments. Function call. We list the name first, the type of animal second, because the argument hairy is listed first. This time that value is assigned to the parameter animal type, likewise hamster. If you get funny results like this, check and make sure the order of the arguments in your function call matches the order of the parameter function's definitions. Keyword arguments. I'm really learning about keyword arguments. The keyword argument is a name value pair that can pass to a function. You directly associate the name and the value within the arguments. So when you pass the argument, I gotta take it out, it's copyright purpose. But I gotta fix my screen too. Okay. Keyword argument is a name value pair that you pass to a function. You directly associate the name and the value within the argument, so when you pass the argument to the function, there's no confusion. You won't end up with a hairy named hamster. Keyword arguments free you from having to worry about correctly ordering your arguments in the function call, and they clarify the role of each value in the function call. Let's rewrite pet.py using keyword arguments to call pet describe underscore pet. And this is like doing this instead. And like the function describe pet hasn't changed, but we call the function, we but when we call the function, we explicitly tell Python which parameter each argument should be matched with. When Python reads the function call, it knows to assign the argument hamster to the parameter animal type and the argument Harry to pet name. The output correctly shows that we have a hamster named Harry. The order of keyword arguments doesn't matter because Python knows where each value should go. The following two function calls are equivalent. When you use keyword arguments, be sure to use the exact names of the parameters in the function's definition. So that really helps. So keyword arguments. Name value pair that you passed. Default values. When writing a function, you can define a default value for each parameter. If an argument and a parameter is provided in the function call, Python uses the argument value. When writing a function, you can define a default value for each parameter. If an argument for a parameter is provided in the function call, Python uses argument value. If not, it uses the parameter's default value. So when you define a default value for a parameter, you can exclude the corresponding argument you'd usually write in the function call. Using default values can simplify your function calls and clarify. For example, if you notice that most of the calls to describe pet are being used to describe dogs, you can set the default value of animal type to dog. Now anyone calling for a dog can omit that information. Oh, okay, so set almost like your parameter in a default value. Pet name Lily. Animal type dog. Okay. So you can almost set like your default value. Let's say it's dog, right? And we're gonna do pet name. And then animal type dog. animal type. No, we just do pet name Willie. Like this. We change the definition of described pet to include a default value dog before animal type. Now when the function is called with no animal type specified, Python knows to use the value dog for this parameter. Note that the order of the parameters in the function definition has to be changed because the default value makes it unnecessary to specify a type of animal that as an argument. Note that the order of the parameters in the function definition had to be changed because the default value makes it unnecessary to specify a type of animal as an argument. The only argument left in the function call is the pet's name, which is still a key value. Python still interprets this as a positional argument. Really? Not keyword? Oh, no, because, well, yeah, I don't know. So if the function is called with just a pet's name, that argument will match up with the first parameter listed in the function's definition. Let me read that again. Python still interprets this as a positional argument. So if the function is called with just a pet's name, that argument will be matched up with the first parameter listed in the function's definition. This is the reason the first parameter needs to be pet underscore name. Because Python still interprets this as positional argument, which is same order. So if the function is called with just a pet's name, the argument will match up with the first parameter listed in the function's definition. This is the reason for the first parameter, or the first parameter needs to be pet name. The simplest way to use this function now is to provide just a dog's name with the function call describe underscore pet Willie. This function call would have the same output as the previous example. The only argument provided is Willie, so it is matched up with the first parameter in the definition, pet name. Because no argument is provided for animal underscore type, Python uses the default value dog. The function call would have the same output as the previous example. The only argument provided is Willie, so it is matched up with the first parameter in the definition pet name. Because no argument is provided for animal type, Python uses the default value dog. To describe an animal other than a dog, you could use a function call like this. Describe underscore pet name, animal type hamster. Let me read it. To describe an animal other than a dog, you could use a function call. So yeah, the default, then you can override the default parameter, I believe. Hey, let's check. Let's do this. Oops. Animal type. that out. Okay, cool. Because an explicit argument for animal type is provided. Because an explicit argument for animal type is provided, Python will ignore the parameter's default value, which was dog. Okay, when you use default values, any parameter with a default value needs to be listed after all the parameters that don't have default values. This allows Python to continue interpreting positional arguments correctly. Alright. Equivalent function calls. Because positional arguments, keyword arguments, and default values can all be used together, you'll often have several equivalent ways to call a function. Consider the following definition to describe pet with one default value provided. It'll put that in my notes, default values. An argument for a parameter is provided. Or argument for a parameter is provided. Oh, Python uses the R. Oops. Yes. Not. It uses parameters default. Equivalent function calls. This is because positional arguments, keyword arguments, and default values can all be used together. You'll often have several equivalent ways to call a function. Consider the following definition for describe pet with one default value provided. Def describe pet name, pet animal type dog. The following calls you would work for this the following calls would work for this function. Describe pet Willie, describe pet underscore name Willie, hamster named Harry, describe pet Harry, hamster, Scribe pet function, and then Harry hamster, Scribe pet hamster, pet named Harry. Each of these function calls would have the same output as the previous examples. It doesn't really matter which calling style you use, as long as your function calls produce the output you want. Just use the style you find easiest to understand. Okay. Avoid argument errors. When you start to use functions, don't be surprised if you encounter errors about unmatched arguments. Unmatched arguments occur when you provide fewer or more arguments than a function needs to do its work. For example, here's what happens if we try to call pet describe with no arguments. There's an error. Since Python recognizes that there's some information missing about the function call, and the traceback tells us that the traceback first tells us the location of the problem, allowing us to look back and see that something went wrong. That's our function call. Next, the offending function call is written out for us to see. Last, the traceback tells us the call is missing 2 arguments and reports the names of the missing arguments. If this function were in a separate file, we could probably rewrite the call correctly without having to open that file and read the function code. Python is helpful that it reads the function's code for us and tells us the names of the arguments we need to provide. This is another motivation for giving your variables and functions descriptive names. If you do, Python's error messages will be more useful to you and anyone else who might use your code. Python is helpful in that it reads the function's code for us and tells us the names. Yeah, Python's smart. If you provide too many arguments, you should get a similar traceback that can help correctly match your function call to the function definition. Alright, so try it yourself. We made it. A function called MakeShirts that accepts a size and the text of a message. So write a function called MakeSure. This function accepts a size. Is I wonder if I could do there's just like a string in here. It says write a function called that accepts a size and the text of a message that should be printed on the shirt. Okay, size shirt. What if I did this and then shirt size. Shirt size. Oops. Shirt size and message. And remember, you can make these strings. No, right? No. No. Hold on. Strings. I forgot how to write function. Oh, this is so sad. Oh, stupid. You're not stupid. Okay. Boom. Boom. What do we put in here? Our function called make shirt that accepts a size and the text of a message that should be printed on the shirt. Right, so size and text. And then we're gonna do in this thing. We're gonna do print what we print in this function. Size shirt accepts a size. Okay. Yeah. It's like this. S. Small, medium, large, and then I should do like size. Then I should do print what and equal to. Okay, so now we have size message. And then we're gonna do so that's it for this. And then if we wanted to, oh, then what we have to do is do, so it's gonna, shirt size. Size equals input. Message equals input. And then I can do functions get. So we're gonna do make sure. We call make shirt. I don't think it's asking for write a function accepts a size. I don't think it's asking for like it to be interactive, like with like input and stuff. But let's just do this. Make sure make shirt size to make sure shirt size. Let's do this. Print. Print size. Oh, okay. Print shirt size. Or I can do this. Your shirt size is this. Your message is message. And I should say, so your shirt size is this, your message is this, and then make shirt do let's do so the shirt size will be large, comma, and then our message will be I am liking Python. Okay, that's what I did. I print that out. I'm liking Python. And we can do this to make it even better. Okay, awesome. We got that done. Alright, so we did that. That was positional, and then we can do keyword arguments, which is shirt size equals large message equals that. Same thing. Same thing. Alright, sweet. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, modify make shirt function so that shirts are large by default with message. Dude, I literally. Okay, almost. Hang on. Equals. Wait, shirt size equals large by default. The message is also by default. It reads I love Python. Then make a large shirt and a medium shirt with the default message. So this is a large shirt with the default message. So this is the large shirt, the default message, calling the function. Your shirt is large. Your message is I love Python. And then for me to have a medium shirt, you just override this default parameter. So you would put in medium. And then your shirt size is medium. Your message is I love Python. Done, done, done. Oh, different message. It says make a medium shirt with a default message and a shirt. If any size with a different message. Okay. Make sure I can just call the function again. Any size. Let's do share size equals. Let's do small. Message. Message will be I. Well, cybersecurity. I love cybersecurity. And then we print. So one of them's gonna print medium. I love Python. Small. I love cybersecurity. We can do like, yeah. But yeah, that's good. Okay. Cool. Alright, cities. Write a function called describe city that accepts the name of a city and its country. Okay, hang on. Let's see something. Write a function called describe city that accepts the name of a city and its country. Describe city, and what do you want in the function? Accepts the name of a city, name, and country. What do I want? Define function, name, country. And then function print a simple sentence such as print or whatever this name is in the same country. Give the parameter for the country a default value. What do you mean? Give the parameter for the country a default value. Okay. Country. I guess that's what it wants. United States. Okay. And so now if we call the function def describe city, let's say we're describing the city, we're calling the function. Let's say we want name to be Chicago. Then we can just put that there. Everything else is called already. Chicago is in the United States. See that? What if we did I should do like a new line. Chicago. Let's do the same thing. Oops. 3 more cities. I can do So Chicago's in the United States, Detroit's in the United States, Tampa's in the United States. Call your function 3 different cities, at least one of which is not the default country. Oh, okay. Let's do that. Okay. Tokyo, comma, country is equal to Japan. Chicago's in the United States. Detroit's in the United States. Tokyo's in Japan. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. Okay, now we're going to learn about return values. Return values. A function doesn't always have to display its output directly. Instead, it can process some data and then return a value or a set of values. The value the function returns is called a return value. The return statement takes a value from inside a function and sends it back to the line that called the function. Return values all allow you to move much of your program's groundwork into functions, which can simplify the body of your program. Cool. Returning a simple value. Let's look at a function that takes a first and last name and returns it neatly formatted full name. All right. Formatted name pi. Okay. So what we do is get formatted first, no, formatted name, and it's first name, last name. Turn full neatly formatted. Okay. First name. I don't know. I totally didn't see his response. How to make that when you click something is should display. Same. I didn't see our first viewer. Congratulations, Lex. You were my first viewer ever. I didn't see your res- your response in the chat. I'm sorry about that. But anyways, his how to click. So what I did is Alt Shift and then down on the arrow of your keyboard and the down key, and then you should it will duplicate your code like this. Let's say we're on this line. When we do Alt Shift down, it'll duplicate your code, and I think you can delete it the same way. No, I don't know. I just deleted it by doing this. Yeah, just like okay. Anyway, going back to returning a simple value. Uh, let's look at a function that takes a first and last name and returns a neatly formatted full name. Okay. So how do you get our first viewing? That's sweet. Return a return a full name neatly formatted. Um, full name, first name, then last name. Full name, first name, last name. First name, last name, and then return full name dot title title and usage and oops, dude, am I spelling that right? That's so bad. Position equals get formatted name dot gem musician. Okay, so define function get formatted name, first name, last name, full name, first name, last name, parameters, return, and then so return. Yeah. So use return values. The return statement takes a value from inside a function. The return statement the value from inside a function and sets it back to the line that called the function. Takes value from inside the function. Hmm. Can't believe that first view. That's so cool. Did my brother subscribe? Probably not. I'm getting distracted. But I gotta check. Gotta check. Gotta check. No. Okay. Doesn't really matter. Okay. Good. Definition of get formatted name takes as parameters a first and last name. The function combines these two names, adds a space and between them, and assigns the result to full name. Oh, So return means just like print it out to them. So get format name. Where's the title case? When you call a function that returns value, when you call a function that returns a value, you need to provide that the return value can be assigned to. In this case, the return value is assigned to the variable musician. Making an argument optimal. Making the argument optional. Sorry. Sometimes it makes sense to make an argument optional so that people using the function can choose to provide extra information if they want to. You can use default values to make an argument optional. For example, say we want to expand get format name to handle middle names as well. A first attempt to include middle names might look like this. First name, middle name, last name, return, full name, full name, return, full name. The function works when given a first, middle, and last name. The function takes all three parts of a name and then builds a string out of them. The function adds spaces where appropriate and converts the full name to title cases. The middle names aren't always needed, and this function as written would not work if you tried to call it with only a first name and a last name. To make the middle name optional, we can give it a middle name argument and empty default value to ignore argument unless the user provides a value to make work without the middle name. Save the middle name to an empty string and then move it to the end of the list parameters. In this example, the name is built from three possible parts. Because there's always a first, last, and last name, these parameters are listed first in the function's definition. The middle name is optional, so it's listed last in the definition, and its default value is an empty string. In the body of the function, we check to see if a middle name has been provided. Python interprets non-empty strings as true. So the conditional tests if middle name evaluates to true, if a middle name argument is in the function call. If a middle name is provided, the first, middle, and last names are combined in to form a full name. This name is then changed to title case and returned to the function call line, where it's assigned to the variable musician and printed. If no middle name is provided, the empty string fails to test and the else block returns. Full name is made with just a first and last name, and the formatted name is returned to the calling line where it's assigned to musician and printed. Calling this function with a first and last name is straightforward. If we're using a middle name, however, we have to make sure the middle name is the last argument passed so Python will match up the positional arguments correctly. This modified version of our function works for people with just a first and last name, and it works for people who have a middle name as well. Optional values allow functions to handle a wide range of use cases while letting function calls remain as simple as possible. Returning a dictionary. Function call can return any kind of value you need it to, including more complicated data structures like lists and dictionaries. For example, following function takes in parts of a name and returns the dictionary representing person. So let's go ahead and let's do this. In the file person.py. Define function build person first name. Oops. Return a and then last. So let's just say that so person musician. So what is this doing? Define function, build person, first name, last name. Return a dictionary of information about a person, and return that person. So first break of the day. We will be right back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Time to put our mic back on. Test, test, test. All right. Let's get going. Is this latency like? What latency is so behind? Anyway, returning a dictionary. Cool. What if we didn't return it? def line function get formatted name, first name, last name, full name. we use a simple version of name to the name. But there's one problem with this while loop. We haven't defined a quit condition. Ooh. Enter Q time. L through center name. Right. Quit. First name. One function. This is an infinite loop. Not anymore. Do that in a minute. Okay. While true. Print. Please tell me your name. Enter Q to quit. Anytime to quit. First name. Just input first name. If first name is equal to quit, Q break. On that, last name. Break. Run this. Break. I'm not gonna run it. Please tell me your name. Pretty cool. Um, hey, hey there. How are you doing? What's going on, man? We're just learning Python. Uh, we're kind of beginning, so it may be really basic, but we got to start somewhere. So, welcome. Um, please feel free to be my first subscriber. I don't have any subscribers on this channel, so uh, what have I learned so far? Yeah. So I've learned. I'm at functions right now. I've been learning a lot about um everything from flow control to formatting, um, And now I'm at like function. So this is like day 4. Um, yeah, I'm going through this Python crash course book very slowly, just to make sure that I have these concepts down. Um, so yeah, I intend on building out cybersecurity tools with my skills that I pick up. That's like what my goal is right now. So yeah, Python's my first language. How about you? Mm-mm-mm. Let's see. C plus plus. Yeah, a couple of my computer science buddies have done C plus plus, or they're really proficient in it. Um, but I mean, I know that there's a lot more steps to like C plus plus. It's a really hard language, right? Because there's like memory or something. Yeah. So I'm sticking with Python for now. Mm-mm-mm. Informs user how to quit, and then we'll break out of a loop with the if the user enters quit value at either program should continue. Um, okay, now try it yourselves. All right, let's go ahead. Security tools I want to start building. Probably I want to start building network scanning tools. Um, just to get a better understanding of how, um, how all these protocols interact with just code. I think that'd be a really good way to get a better like solidify my understanding. Um, and also I want to be a security engineer at a big tech company, and so I know that they have a lot of scripting tests like during their interviews where you have to know how to like script through logs that are huge, like for huge companies that have maybe hundreds of thousands of lines, and you have to parse through those logs with code. So um, I gotta I gotta learn how to script too. Mm-mm-mm-mm. All right, so write a function called. Mm, it takes the name of a city. Let's do. Um, function return should return a string formatted like this. Okay. Mm, yes. You're doing cyber also? Okay, that's awesome. Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah. So I mean, my journey in in like security so far has just been like building out just simple home labs. I know that AWS offers a free 30-day trial where you can get a whole instance, a whole suite of different AWS services, and you can kind of build home labs. I put that on my resume, um, and I was able to land an internship with that alone. And then a couple like Cisco certifications, the free ones from Cisco Networking Academy. And then yeah, so I had my first internship last year. That was my sophomore year studying cyber. And that internship was huge. It opened up so many different doors and expanded my knowledge. And so yeah, internships are huge in this space, especially because how competitive this market is. Internships will definitely set you apart from other applicants. And then so yeah, this fall this is my junior year. So this fall I was applying to so many different companies, and I landed two FANG interviews, and I didn't do well on either one. And the reason I didn't do well was not because of the behavioral portion, but more of the technical portion. They had a scripting interview part, and that's where I struggled. So this is exactly why I'm learning this, um, because that's not gonna happen again. I'm gonna make sure that I have my scripting down, and I'm able to speak in their technical language that they want their applicants to speak in. So hosting company. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's awesome with the AWS instances. There's a couple good YouTube channels too that will kind of walk you through those home labs. Um, and that's kind of how I learned. And yeah, make sure. Also, like a really big thing with cybersecurity and a lot of companies nowadays, they want you to have a lot of documentation on what you're doing. They want to see like what how active you are in the space. Because when I was interviewing with the companies that I was interviewing with, a lot of them looked at my GitHub repository and they were like asking me things about like what I was working on, what I'm interested in. They would ask me different parts of security, whether it's offensive security or yeah, even just like blue team things. Different principles like zero trust. Like how would I respond to certain, like I don't know, say like a 0 day attack? How would I respond to that? So yeah, they want to know your breadth of knowledge, and I think the best way to really showcase that is your GitHub repository, and also like maybe doing something like a blog. So I've been working on writing in my blog, and then yeah, yeah, just having a platform. I think that's what separates that's what distinguishes you as a candidate, is having a platform to showcase your knowledge. Because I mean that's probably what speaks like louder than technicals, is your ability be to do things differently, to show them that you can do things like outside of the classroom. Hack the box. Okay. Yeah. I mean, man, I I have a weird experience with Hack the Box. I feel like it's awesome, it's great, but when I go to my cybersecurity meetups, I always get like, I don't know, weird impressions when I say like, "Oh yeah, I'm working on Hack the Box, this that," and they're like, "Okay, that's cool. Like, are you building anything? Are you doing anything?" I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think me personally, I think that like learning Python and building out tools is something that will speak way louder than like just um working through machines. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm still learning. I think yeah, of course you have to do a little bit of both. It's important to know how attackers move through an environment. So that's where Hack the Box would be really good. But also like I think companies want to know how you can contribute to what they're working on, and if you have Python skills and you're able to work on a on a big scale, like with bigger companies, then that's huge. Take some names. All right. Okay. And then I think it's that simple. Mm, awesome. Great. Now, let's see. Neural networks and image processing. That's gonna be huge. You go to a good school. They're teaching you that at second year. It's a really good school. Is it a 4 year program in cyber? Is it the like a 2 year like a community or county college? All right, I'll buy that. That builds a dictionary describing music album. Take. What's your so is the neural networks class for your other program, your other undergrad degree? Is that what it is? Or is that like a cyber elective? Hmm. Oh, okay. Huh. Yeah, okay. I'm based in the US, so I think our programs are a little different. Um my my program primarily covers just like networking, digital forensics. Um we had one programming class, maybe yeah, one programming like class. Um it was just like an intro to programming class and then a couple electives and they just cover a lot of just IT, just basic IT um classes. Um Nothing too advanced. The most I've learned, like I'm so serious. Like the most important thing for me, or like the most impactful thing, was when I was an intern. That's where I really learned about like real world like cybersecurity. And yeah, that internship. I felt like during my internship, I felt like I should have been paying for that because like I was just learning so much. I was drinking out of a fire hose. There's so much information. Okay. This is a little so write a function album that builds a dictionary describing. So it's kind of similar to this. What was the dictionary one? I need an example. persons. Mm, I need to like move this over. I need it near it. There we go. Not gonna flip in between. All right. So, oh, okay. So you just gotta write the parameters first. Okay, yeah. So with finding an internship, I'm not sure how the Australian like market is and how competitive it is to land an internship. But here in the States, it was pretty challenging. It was very challenging, but not as challenging as a software engineering role. I have a lot of friends who are doing software engineering, and it is almost seemingly impossible to find like land an internship. Um, but cyber it's a little different. Because I feel like this is kind of this is kind of like maybe like this is just a different take. I feel like the bar is a little lower in like what they expect out of a cyber intern rather than a software engineering intern. Because security is relatively newer, maybe I want to say. I mean, not the role of cybersecurity is newer, so it's a little different. Um, and also I feel like like the re- required knowledge is totally more broad with security because not only are you having to know about the technologies that software engineers are working with, but also how to secure them, how to work with like all these different like compliance um frameworks. So I would say my yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But yeah, just that platform, building out a platform, writing out, being active in the community, and showcasing that to your interviewers, or it's gonna separate you from everyone else. That's kind of like what I'm doing here. But this here, like this stream here, is just for my accountability to make sure that I'm consistent every single day. So dictionary, album, artist name. Man, for and it should return a dictionary containing at least these two pieces of information. Hmm. Equals. Mm, do that. Now we put the dictionary in. Like this would be like album. Let's see. Yeah, no, this is. I mean, even you. No, I know that C plus plus was probably really challenging. I've heard many stories of people trying to attempt to like learn it, and I don't know very many people who like use that during interviews. So a lot of people use Python because it's almost like English. So man, I have to tip my hat to you because you attempted to learn it. So that's impressive. And just you doing that alone, I think will I mean it builds up your fortitude for taking on cyber. So that gives you an edge on other people. And like what I said, you, I'm more of a script kiddie than you probably are. Just literally just learning now. It's kind of embarrassing, but you have to start somewhere. I have to start. I have to take action. That's the main thing. I can't just like leave it there and say I'll do it another day. I have to take action. So, like album, music album. Okay, now I make the dictionary. And then we're gonna do say artist name. Wait, we can just do name. Mm, name like this. Um, yeah, title. I think it's use a function to make three dictionaries representing different album. Oh, okay. And then we just call it. So let me think of the logic here. Function is established. Variables. Java, Java. Okay, yeah, that's also that was the first programming language, first programming language that I started to learn, and I don't regret that. I think that Java is it's it's a good language to learn. It's a really good language to understand programming with, but um yeah, I don't regret that. But I also didn't go too far into Java. I just stayed at like the in like introductory level. I didn't really go past to where I would like to go. So I'm gonna take name. So and it should but then it has to return this too. So we can do all right. I just want to see if this works. Oh wait. We gotta get a. Hang on. And then let's see. What? What's okay? So we get a new. We have to make another variable, I think. Man, if you started at 11, you'd be at Google. You'd be at Google if you kept with it. No, it's okay. It's okay because you know what? It's day one. Just keep going. Just keep going. Okay. See? So that's not. Uh, yeah, no. I like to definitely like dive into how things work, but I also know not to get too far down into the intricate things because some things like can get you can go so far into them that they almost become like theoretical, and so that's kind of where I draw the line, and I just try to say it at like a high level like understanding of a lot of things. So even when it comes to like learning technologies, you can get so far like down into the weeds where now you're just a scientist because you're discovering like how these technologies work on a very low level. Maybe you're a scientist. Maybe. Hmm. Assembly? Yeah. No, that's okay. A lot of my friends take assembly classes actually too. Um, those classes are it's something. It's something strange, but at least it's not binary. Builds. What am what am I doing? In return that. Then okay, so I need to make a new variable that calls that. So then we do the person's name. Then title. Oops. All right, this should work. And it didn't. Okay, what did I do wrong? Hmm. Oh, print. print album. There we go. Ooh, that was rough. That was rough. That was rough. Okay. Yeah. No, I bet assembly like that was probably. I mean, you're. It seems like you're learning these like you dive like head first into the deep end with C plus plus assembly. Like that's you're brave, one of a kind. How do you learn these things? Do you use books or do you use video? I can't do the videos. I don't think that they like I don't know. It doesn't click for me. I can't watch someone like learn how to. I can't watch someone teach me how to like program. I gotta read it. I have to practice. Like I have to get my hands on the keyboard and practice. Do you use books or do you watch like tutorials? Alright, so we did this part, and then use a function to make three dictionaries representing different albums. I don't even know any albums. I'm literally just gonna. Alright, I don't even know any albums, but it would work with other ones too. I think. Let's see. Let's just do one more. Now let's see what it does. Print both. No, it prints one. Wait, let me see this. Yeah, it prints one list. Oh, because it resigned the album. Um, or we could just print. Let's just do this then. Is that what it wants? Use function to make three dictionaries representing three different albums. Print each return. Oh. Hmm. We have an expression here. Yeah, yeah. I know that you can get stuck in tutorial hell, so that's something I've been warned of. That's why I can't. And also, like, some people will like just write notes and like watch videos. I don't think that will help either. You have to actually like use your brain. I mean, notes help with just gathering information, but eventually you have to apply it. So important. That's what I'm learning. I think the biggest thing in like security and just really tech is just learning how to pick up technical concepts in practice. That's that's what it is. So I don't think I'm doing this right. So album that builds the dictionary describing a music album. The function should take an artist name and album title. Yeah, it does that. Should return a dictionary containing these two pieces of information. Oh, maybe I can write a for loop then, right? Mm, mm, yeah, no. If you learn C++, then you can do, the majority of other languages because there's a lot of other concepts with C++ that are really challenging for beginners. So function should. Hey, is this the same thing where it takes in a list? Like, what if there's. Hmm. This is supposed to. Let's see. So. The album. I want to just make it easier. So I'm gonna make this dictionary like this. I can do this. Album dictionary. Um, dictionary. It's gonna return that. And let's just album one. I can do one more. Oops. Let's do Kendrick. Mm, okay. Print each album dictionary. So if I did like album one, I think that would. I'm just gonna manually like print each dictionary. Like, alright, this. Okay. That looks good. Okay, awesome. Yes, we got it. Starting the album correctly. Title, yep. Awesome. Now user albums. I'm gonna do this. Start your program from this. Write a while loop that allows users to enter an album's artist and title. Once you have the information, call make album with the user's input and print the dictionary that's created. Be sure to include a quit value in the while loop. Write a while loop that allows users to. Okay, I think we had a while loop for one of our prior programs. I think it was Greeter. Yeah, so it goes like while true. Um, mm, so we don't need this anymore. All true. I need to say like allows users to enter. So enter artist name, artist equals input, print, enter album, album equals input, and now we need to. Oh, this is an infinite one. I don't. Oh, this is to put a quit value. Okay, well, if that's the case then. Um, I'll do the same. Stop. Alright, so problems able to break. Alright, so we got that, and then yeah, I should be nervous right now because I'm really not the best at programming, but no, I'm not nervous because, well, yeah, I'm nervous, but also if I don't do it, then I'll never do it. So I just do it, just do it, just take action. I totally encourage you to do that, and matter of fact, I'm gonna subscribe to you. There you go. I subscribed to you. There you go. See? Subscribe to you. So I have post notifications on, so I'm waiting for you to have your first code with me live stream, and I'll make sure to tune in. I think that it's so important that you just take action and you learn as you go. For example, if you subscribe to me, you'll see that I'm not the best right now, but in 6 months from now, I'm gonna be a lot better than I am today. And not only like programming wise, but also the stream. The stream will be better. I don't plan to stop doing this anytime soon. I plan on just to just progressively get better. I think that with a lot of things that I do, I naturally suck at a lot of things. So um yeah, it's just doing it, just taking action, and then you refine as you go. You get better as you go. All right. So that's and then so now we need to aggregate the two inputs. So like say I don't know if we put it out here and we keep it in the while loop, right? So it would be like wait. Hmm. Dude, that would be so cool. I saw some of those. I saw like those some of these programmers that will like create these games like live streaming it, and I don't know. Some of these guys are wizards. They're actually wizards. They're not using like any form of like a guide or anything. They're just doing it off the dome. That's really impressive. And they're building these crazy games. But yeah, no. I mean, you have to start. You have to start. Like I think a lot of people are just naturally not good at a lot of things, but that's okay because you know what, you never gave yourself the chance, and I wouldn't be happy with myself knowing I wouldn't have given myself the chance to stream. Like I don't have anything to lose, so I'm just gonna keep doing it. We'll see where it takes me. We'll see. The worst case scenarios I get embarrassed, but that's already been done. The best case scenario is it turns into something or it keeps me accountable. So think about it that way. You don't have anything to lose. It'll keep you accountable. Um, and there's only up from where you start. It's only up. You just get better. Wait. So I need a guide. So I have this, and then how do I put it together? So um, Greeter was a really good one, really good guide. So did that part. Like I can do like form an album. Oh, and then I call it. Okay, okay, okay. So I can do. Wait, was it outside though? Hmm. It's in the while loop. while loop. We'll just say like made album equals make album. And then we gotta oh, okay. Then our parameters, right? Yeah. Hmm. I think keep going back to this guide because I don't first name. Yeah, yeah. We're right. Hmm. Let's do. Okay, I think we got it. Let's see. I don't know. I just looked up like different artists. Okay. What if I did one more? Let's do. I'm just using Perplexity because I don't know any artist names. What is this? Pink Floyd. Okay. And then title. Alright, now if I quit. Okay, but that wouldn't print anything. Okay, so just return. Okay, so it's an infinite while loop. No, it's not infinite, but it would just keep going in the dictionary. Okay. Yeah, because it's not like a nested dictionary where it would hold each input. It just outputs whatever your input is. Okay, cool. What about trying to temp? I was trying to. I was doing 8.8 user albums. Oh, are you? Wait, are you able? Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't see if you could see because I just see on my side that my head was in the way. I was doing this, so I was building off of this, which was to write a function called make album, which was this. That builds a dictionary. Did this, describing the music album. But then I had to start with this. So it said write a while loop that allows users to enter an album's artist and title. So that's what I did. I said while true, enter your artist. If artist equal, so I have my flag, and then I have enter the album. Nope. And then um yeah, album it's input if album and then break. So that's what I did. Alright, so now we're gonna go to passing a list. Let's go ahead and read this and figure this out. You often find it's useful to pass a list to a function, whether it's a list of names, numbers, or complex objects such as dictionaries. When you pass a list to a function, the function gets direct access to the contents of the list. Let's use functions to make working with lists more efficient. Say we have a list of users and want to print a greeting to each. The following example sends a list of names to a function called greetUsers, which greets each person in the list individually. So let's just go ahead and write this out. I do best when I just like I read. So I'll read this and then I'll just like write it out. So that's what we're gonna do. Oh, this isn't the same. This is the same one though. No, it's not. Right. So let's just write it out. So define function names, and then then apparently you're supposed to like write out what you want this function to do. So print a simple greeting to each user in the list. Alright, so for names, message, hello. Alright, so for name and names, right? Love title. And then opens it up. I need to defend this. I'm gonna move this down. No. Usernames. I need a list of people, so the book is Hannah. Max. Margaret. Okay. Then it says each user. So we call the function users. Okay. Alright, so let's just read this out. So find the function greetUsers names. So this is the parameter names. And then always like best practices are to put a comment right here, print the simple greeting to each user in the list. For a name in names, message hello, and then name, and then title. It's a capitalizer name. Print the message hello. Usernames Hannah, Max, Margaret. Okay. So it's gonna loop through each name in the list. Awesome. See? Alright, so we define greetUser, so it expects a list of names which it assigns a parameter names. The function loops through the list it receives and prints a greeting to each user. Inside the function, we define a list of users and then pass the list's usernames to greet users in the function call. When you pass a list to a function, the function can modify the list. So the function can modify the list. Any changes made to the list inside the function's body are permanent, allowing you to work efficiently even if you're dealing with large amounts of data. Consider the company that creates 3D printed models of designs that users submit. Designs that need to be printed are stored in a list. After being printed, they're moved to a separate list. Following code does this without using functions. Wait, what? So start with some designs that need to be printed. So this is a list of that. Okay, let's get this in my IDE or my VS Code. I don't wanna so I'm just gonna print this out or copy this and then we'll read it out. Okay. Alright, so start with some designs that need to be printed. Printed designs. So it's a phone case, robot, pendant, and don't even ask me to say this word. Okay. Completed models, empty list. It says simulate printing each design until none are left. Move each design to completed models after printing. While unprinted designs. So while in this list, current design equals unprinted designs that pop. Okay, so we're taking out each string in this list, starting with this word that I'm not gonna say. So pop that, and then this will be under this current design variable. So yeah, it'll print current design, and then completed models append. So then you append this word to the empty string, completed models. Display all completed models. Then just print out each. So now we're gonna use a for loop to iterate through the new list that's not empty anymore. And then print that. I understand that. So what is wait. Uh hmm. Let's run it. We can reorganize this code by writing two functions, each of which does one specific job. Most of the code won't change. We're just structuring it more carefully. The first function will handle printing the designs. The second function will summarize the points that have been made. Okay. Alright, so now we're trying to figure out this. So understand this. This is easy. This is what we learned in our prior chapter. We have to learn this now. This is a little different. So I'm gonna write it out. Code won't change, but we're just structuring it more carefully. So we'll do this. What? So what we're doing is let's just write a string. So we're gonna simulate that, and then we're gonna say move each heap to completed models after. Alright, so what does that mean? Well, that's what the book shows. Okay. So wait. All right. So let's try to read this out. So find the function print models, unprinted designs, complete models. So these are the parameters inside of this function. While unprinted designs, current design equals unprinted designs, pop. We need this though. Hmm. Let's read it out. You define the function print models with two parameters, a list of designs that need to be printed, and the list of completed models. Given these two lists, the function simulates printing each design by emptying the list of unprinted designs and filling up with filling up the list of completed models. We then define the function show completed models with one parameter, the list of completed models. Given this, show completed models displays the name of each model that was printed. So this shows each model printed. This program has the same output as the version without functions, but the code is much more organized. The code that does most of the work has been moved to separate functions, which makes the main part of the program easier to understand. The body of the program, and notice how easy you follow what's happening. The list. Okay. I think I'm gonna end the stream there. I'm gonna be back tomorrow, but I wanna get this down pat, and then yeah, we'll be back tomorrow with to showcase my practice problems I've worked through. So I appreciate everyone for hopping in. I made some friends today, so I'm really happy. But yeah, all right, Kai. Nice meeting you. Um, and I encourage you to start that stream. Start that stream. Uh, and you never know where it can take you. So I would encourage you to do that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's what is it? It's 9 a.m. for me. So okay. All right, Kai. Happy holidays. See ya.